Welcome back to the X-Files. We kick things off with a guy alone in the rainforest looking for some samples because apparently he has never seen a horror movie in his life.
Shoot! Get away! Shoot!
More for me! While examining this dead boar, he spots a pulsing inflammation and wants to study it. Along with horror movies, he's apparently never seen a pimple before because he begins squeezing around the edges with his face right over it, begging to get squirted by pus, and with no facial protection. Yes, even the beetles are unsurprised when the inevitable happens. He just wipes his face off, though, and gets back to work, although it's not much later that he's looking really bad and needs some help.
Field base, come in, please. This is Dr. Robert Torrance with the Biodiversity Project.
I found a mixed-race lesbian beetle, over. The aid that he asked for comes in the form of a bunch of guys who look like soldiers, but when they show up it's too late. Now he's just like the boar, though he is an insect specialist, so a lot of people probably said he was a boar before this. After the truth is out there, we pick up in a Virginia prison, where a prisoner named Robert Torrance gets a weird package. Turns out it contains a severed leg from that boar. He's naturally a bit pissed off that he was sent an animal limb, and worse, had it left in here. But that night things get more unpleasant as he notices a pulsing inflammation on it, just like Dr. Dumbass had seen. And sure enough, he is soon being examined by two doctors who are actually taking precautions when dealing with him. They must be bad guys, because in the X-Files, almost no one else is actually competent. Case in point, the prison handles this matter by having two convicts clean out the guy's cell afterwards, whose biosafety gear no doubt consists of, "Maybe we'll let you take a shower later." From their conversation, we gather that they are planning to escape using the laundry truck. And this is such a good plan, we don't even see the escape happen. We pick up in the following scene with Mulder and Scully coming to investigate this escape. Mulder, of course, wants to know why, if the concern is about escaped murderers, that there are people in hazmat suits wheeling around stretchers. But the federal marshal in charge of the search only wants to know why they're here.
Either you two ever run an escaped convict operation?
No.
Well, then you'd be a real big help if you just tried to stay out of the way.
If I find these two, I know I'll finally get that DEA job in Albuquerque. But he's got a point, one that Mulder seems to see, given that he's wondering why they're here too. The FBI wouldn't normally be involved in this kind of thing, so why would someone want them here? Scully tries to learn what's up, but one of those two doctors, Dr. Osborne, says that she can't come in, as he is with the CDC, and of course, no girls allowed. Scully finally says that if he doesn't let her in, she's heading back to Washington and filling them in on the secret CDC quarantine, which would make this, well, not a very good secret, so he lets her in. This thing is spreading pretty rapidly. 14 people have gotten it, and 10 are already dead. So odds are pretty good that the guys who cleaned up patient Zero's cell are also infected, and now carrying it across the countryside. That's not even factoring in the fact that they're violent dicks. They steal the RV of a family by murdering the father and leaving him in the bathroom at a rest stop. Sounds like the kind of thing a desperate salesman would tell you to make sure that you got the one with the built-in toilet. You never know when an escaped killer might be waiting for you at a rest stop, sir. When they stop to fill up on some gas, Paul, the long-haired one, takes the opportunity to call his wife. I'm going to assume wife since they've got a kid. I'm not going to impose my values on you, but I'm just going to be simple and say wife. From a payphone while his partner does the important job of curling up in the fetal position in the bathroom. When the attendant finds him, Paul comes back just in time to whop him on the head, and not in the Looney Tunes kind of way, or even in the TV anesthetic kind of way, in the I'm trying to kill a zombie kind of way. Back at the prison, Scully cuts open a body bag to begin examining it, but Dr. Osborne runs in a panic, trying to get the bag to close, despite the fact that, well, plastic does not work that way. You can't just suddenly decide to make it seal itself. While he's learning that harsh lesson, another one crops up. No good deed goes unpunished, because now that he's where Scully was, he's the one that gets a blast in the face from one of the dead bodies. While he runs off to panic, the marshals have arrived at the gas station. You know, this RV is nice. I think I'm going to tell my brother-in-law Walt about it. The gas station attendant is still alive when they get there. The blow wasn't quite serious enough to kill him, and so he's able to tell them about how sick the one guy was, and thus how important it is to get them back before they start an epidemic. That would really get in the way of their killing spree, after all. Mulder guesses that one of them would call up a girlfriend upon busting out, and so gets the phone number that Paul called from the operator, so they've got a good lead now. Not that it will do much good for the attendant, who gets picked up by a helicopter and shoved into a giant Tupperware container. Mulder and the marshals are wondering what the hell is going on with that, but Scully has an idea. The CDC is not involved. Those guys are actually from a pharmaceutical company. They were the ones that sent the infected leg to the prisoner. Although, to be fair, it was all covered with a $2 copay, so, that's good. Meanwhile, the prisoners have reached Paul's wife, but the other dude is looking really nasty and soon squirts all over the missus. To round out this great day for her, just as she finishes washing up and panicking over what happened, the marshals burst in with guns drawn and arrest her for aiding and abetting an escaped fugitive. All she needs now for the trifecta is to have her house burned down. Back at the prison, Scully pulls a fully grown insect out of the cyst of one of the dead men, and Dr. Osborn is ready to start explaining since he's infected as well now and thus under a death sentence. They're interested in the insect because it secretes a dilating enzyme, and so they faced a difficult decision. We could get a bunch of pigs and harvest a large number of the insects for use in studies, or, and I think we can all agree this is the better plan, we infect a prisoner with it and lead to a massive outbreak that will, at best, cost millions of dollars to contain, if not lead to the end of the world as we know it. I take back what I said about bad guys being competent.